The whole purpose of indoor air quality focused designs were offering um, a way to be able to control how our body functions. And of course, some of those were reversible issues, some of them are irreversible issues. But when you do bring in the COVID question, now it's no longer just indoor air quality for um, better health, but now it's all about safety. It's all about safety and protecting someone indoors. And cognizant authorities like ASHRAE, like the CDC, like we have in Europe, and the DOE and the EPA and OASH, and we can just continue through an entire list, is that minimum ventilation, as advocated by code, is a start point. It's not necessarily what is considered a high performing building. And when we look at the control of the spread of something like COVID-19, we have to increase the amount of outdoor air that's recommended by code to become a high performing building. So is that 30% above that? Is it 100% above that? Or is it a 100% outdoor air system? And as I alluded earlier, when we're taking a look at the energy profile of a building, 70% of it can come from or is from the HVAC system, and 50 to 75% of that 70% is conditioning the outdoor air. So when we look at energy recovery in a DOAS product, we're able to optimize the energy profile of a building because we're recovering the energy from the exhaust air. And then more importantly, we're decoupling the I guess the energy conditioning between what is in the outdoor air and what is on the indoor air. So a DOAS product becomes paramount in the design of a holistic energy profile of a building and optimizing that energy profile based on that minimum demand or that increased demand that I'm alluding to. And without a DOAS product, it's going to become extremely expensive to operate as compared to when you do have a DOAS product.
Nick, just to piggyback that thought, I mean, and I love you saying that because to me, DOAS without energy recovery is a tremendous disservice to, a building owner, as a designer, not designing a system with, not considering DOAS to have energy recovery to me is it's such a problem. I mean, for the sake of running some duct work and getting that outside air. When you think about, especially like a building in New York, where I'm located, the amount of exhaust that comes out of these buildings and the temperature and the consistency at which we take air out of these buildings, there's so much energy in it. And, from a sensible and from a latent perspective. And, it's just a matter of running a duct and connecting those two airstreams. And what's great about the Renew Air product is with, designing it correctly, we could be at 0% cross contamination. So a lot of the concerns and a lot of the air that historically we had to exhaust because the perception was maybe had an odor in it, maybe it was coming from a place that we didn't want to put it through, certain technologies because there could be a transmittance from one airstream to the other. I think a lot of people shied away from energy recovery in DOAS because of that. But now, it's really a no-brainer. I mean, thinking about what DOAS systems alone did for indoor air quality, in terms of, the buildings, the energy models did prove that decoupling that ventilation did drop energy consumption in the building. The other side of that was it gave you significantly tighter control of the air temperature and humidity coming into the space. Now combine that, right, with energy recovery, and the savings are significant. And the savings are to the point where where we can go back and now start to overventilate buildings, as Nick had said. And we know that there's a clear benefit. Designing a building for minimum outdoor air, is kind of what we, are recommended to do. But looking at that in terms of, let's look at all these positive advantages that we could potentially have now. And we can do that because the energy recovery allows us to do that without there being any energy penalty. No increased building tonnage, no increased heating loads. So we can increase ventilation and still net less energy. That's an absolute great thing.